Hi everybody, it's Dawn from Crafting on the Green. I hope you're well. So today I wanted to show you how to make some money wallets or gift card wallets, and they are the magic style of wallet. I don't know if you've seen these before, but when you open it up you have your ribbon holding the money in place, and when you flip it over the money is now on the other side of the card. And you can just keep flipping over. I'm fascinated by these. So they're double-sided. I've made so it's a card either side. And then with the gift card, it does that. So I have secured the gift card and the money in place with a small glue dot, just to make sure it stays in place. But let me show you how to make those. So you're going to need your trimmer and a sheet of Whisper White thick, and from one sheet of A4 you can get what we need to make both sizes. So first of all I'm going to cut, what am I going to cut? So it's going to be 6 inches by 4 inches, and we want 2 of those. And then the other is 5.5 inches. I think, or is it 5 inches? It's 5 inches. Let's do that again. 5 inches by 3.5. This one's slightly smaller, it's just for the gift card. We don't want it to get lost in there. Okay. So, now we've got our 2 sizes. I'm going to use the tri-corner punch and use the corner rounder. So when you're using the punch, make sure that you push right in the middle rather than on one side. And we want to do this to each of the pieces. You don't have to round the corners if you don't want to, but I think it just makes it look a lot nicer. There we go. It's a bit loud, I'm afraid. Go, one more. Okay. Excuse me, bit of a cold again today. Right, so now that we've got these, so first of all I'm going to start with the larger one. So I need some ribbon and some scissors. So what we're going to do, other than that, we don't really have to measure too much, which is great. So we're just going to cut so that there's roughly 1 inch on hanging over the sides. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. You just want to make sure you've got enough to stick it down with. Okay, just like that. So now what we want to do, we want to make a cross on the front. Now you don't want it to be a wide cross, you kind of want it to be a slightly squished cross. So when you've got where the middle should be and you've got enough overhanging on each of the sides, take some washi tape. I'm just going to take off some of the sticky because I don't want to risk it pulling at the card. And when you're happy that your cross is in the middle, just pop the washi tape on just to hold it in place. Now what we're going to do, flip that over. So we are going to take some double-sided tape here I've got the Stampin' Up tear and tape, and we're just gonna on the outside we're gonna stick that over the card. So let me show you. So you want to pull it tight, but not too tight. You just want it to be attached. If you start pulling things too tight, it's going to make the card curl up. And we don't want that because then it won't work. If I can get the tape off the top. There we go. So there we go, just like that. Next, what we're going to do, we want to adhere these two onto this side. So I'm going to use the tear and tape on the underside. I'm sure I'm making this look very difficult, it's not. Don't stick on there. And don't worry about how messy it looks because we are going to be covering it all up. So I'm just going to make sure that my two pieces of card are straight with each other and stick that on there, and then the same again. Make sure it's still lined up. And there we go. So it should look something like this currently. Next, we're going to take these bits, and these are going to be the straight ones. So we're just going to slide these under. Now the trick is to try and make sure that they're straight. So I measure on my grid paper, I'm just going to go 3/4 of an inch, which is 3 little grid squares down. And pop some tape on there. And again, we want the outside in. So try and get this off. So keep it straight. There we go. And then the bit that's in the middle, we're going to stick onto the opposite side. Now before I do that, I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to try and make sure that it's straight. Or at least straight enough. So I'm going to hold it there, flip it back over. It looks a bit fiddly, and it is a little bit fiddly, but it's not too bad. I think the fiddly bit for me is trying to get the, the tape off. There we go. So again, we're just going to make sure that's straight and in place. And we'll stick that down like that. And then we're going to do the same again. Slide it under the bottom. Again, I want it to be about 3 squares up, which is about 3/4 of an inch. I'll try and get the tape off. I really am having one of those days with this. There we go. And you don't have to use tear and tape, you could just use sticky tape to put over the top. Anything that will just stick it down basically. Right, and then again, I want to make sure that's relatively straight. One last bit. We'll stick on the underside so that we can stick it over the top. If I can get the tape off. There we go. So you want to pull it relatively tight, but say you don't want to pull it so tight that it's gonna start crumpling up the card. So this is what we've got so far. Now it's time to take off the washi tape. Do it nice and carefully so we don't risk pulling too much at the card. And there we go. So as you see, that does its magic. So now I'm going to cover it up, and I've already pre-cut so that you don't have to watch me cutting everything out. I've got 2 layers of Night of Navy that are the same size as this, so it's 5 by 3.5. No, this is 6 by 4. The other one's 5 by 3.5. And that's just going to stick straight on there. And then this one I've just taken off 1/2 inch, so it's 5.5 by 3.5. So all I'm going to do, get some Tombow, and we're just going to glue this straight on. Actually, we'll put a little bit extra. And that's just going to go straight on the top. So the good thing with Tombow is it can move around slightly for a moment after you've popped it in place, which is good because we like wiggle room. Stick that one on there, and then the same again for this one. Make sure it's all lined up. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now we've got our DSP, and you can use any DSP. This is from the current celebration. Flowers and, oh goodness, I will tell you what it's called. Paper blooms. Paper blooms. It's very pretty. So I'm just going to stick that one on there, and then same again. There we go. So we've done it a bit smaller just so it leaves a nice border, because we don't want to cover up all the Night of Navy because it's too lovely for that. Right, so now I've got a couple of the stitched nested die cuts using Whisper White, and I'm going to use the, nope, that's the other one. I'm going to use the Peaceful Moment stamp set. I'm going for the Happy Birthday. And I'm going to stamp it in Night of Navy so it matches the card. There we go. Now I'm going to use some dimensionals, and we'll raise these up a little bit. Nice new pack of dimensionals. Something very satisfying, isn't there, about a nice new pack? Okay. Try and get it relatively straight. There we go. And then for a little bit of decoration, I've got 2 balmy blue flowers that I punched out using the Thoughtful Blooms punch. And what I'm going to do, just get one of the foam mats. These come with the brayer. I can't even think of the name of that, but they come along with that so that when you're using your die cutter and you need to get out some intricate bits, that's what that's for. So all I'm going to do, using one of the take your pick tool ends, I'm just going to push down in the centre and make a little circle, and it just helps give it a little bit of 3D. And then I'm going to use the epoxy resin droplets and my glue dots. So first of all, we'll grab a glue dot on the bottom of the flower. I'm just going to pop that on there, and then using the take your pick tool, we can just pop the droplet right in the middle. Very pretty. And again for the other side. There we go. Straight in the middle. Lovely. So that is wallet number 1. And then for the dinosaurs, I'm going to use the same ribbon. So this is done in exactly the same way. There's nothing different about it other than the design, but just in case you need to see again. Okay. So again, we've got our masking tape. I'm going to use the same piece as before. So we want to make our slightly squashed cross in the middle. Like that. So again, remembering that from the outside we're sticking over, and then from the inside we're sticking over the next piece. And if it's a little bit too long, don't worry if it hangs over the edge, but make sure it doesn't hang over this edge, because otherwise it might end up getting stuck. So line it up on the grid paper, try and make sure it's straight, and then pull it firmly but not too tightly. Okay. And we'll do the same again. So I'm going to measure roughly 3 dots. Keep that nice and straight. If you want to, you can flip it over to make sure it's nice and straight on the other side, or you can wing it. Okay. So roughly 3 dots. So on this one I'll show you if you want to decorate the inside as well. Okay, roughly like that. There we go. So you'll see if it's a little bit too tight, it actually pings itself back open. But you can kind of wiggle it a little bit. So here I've pre-cut 2 pieces of Pretty Peacock and some of the now retired Dino Raw DSP. So I'm going to do the same again. I love the Pretty Peacock colour. It's going to be retiring this year when the new catalogue comes out in the summer. So if you love it as much as I do, make sure you stock up now. There we go. Line that up. Okay. Right, and then we're going to stick on the DSP. Once you've done the fiddly bit, it's very quick and straightforward to get it decorated. Okay, so for the decoration on this one, I've used the postage stamp punch, and I'm going to use Pretty Peacock ink, and I'm using the Happy Birthday from the Many Mates set. So I'm just going to pop that straight in the middle. I'm going to use that again in a minute. Right, now I need, where did I put those? There they are. I need the dimensionals again. And we're just going to put a couple on the back of each. And then I have pre-cut out one of the dinosaurs, so I'm going to pop some dimensionals on him as well. Because he looks like a happy chappy. And then on this side, I'm going to stick on the greeting. And for this one, I'm going to put on a slightly different dinosaur. So I'm going to use the big dimensionals for that side, and then I've got the mini dimensionals. I'm just going to pop one on his belly. That one on there. Right, so if you want to decorate the inside with the Dino Days set, sorry, you get a stamp that says "You're Rawsome." So I'm going to pop that. Now I should have really stamped it before I put on the outside, but it's okay. So we'll do some of that. And then just a couple of the little dotty designs. And then what I'm just going to do is just flip it over so it's easier to get to the top bits on here. And there we go. So if you want to design the inside, just remember you can flip it over so that the ribbon changes its shape. And then we've got two wonderful gift wallet. I am fascinated by that. Isn't it wonderful? So anyway, that's how you make the magic wallets. And a bit of DSP just makes it nice and bright. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please subscribe and don't forget to ring the bell so that any time I upload a new video you get notifications. Yeah, thanks for watching. I've been Dawn on Crafting on the Green. Thanks very much. Bye.